2021. It's been a mixed year. There's been some memorable times and some times to forget as well.
It's burning me.
We're still, almost 2 years later, going through COVID, a global pandemic. It has been tough for everyone. Starting the year in lockdown like we did this year back in January, that's never going to be a good start to a year. Back in January, I picked up my new car because a few months beforehand, I'd sold my old car to save some money through COVID because I wasn't using it at all. I actually enjoyed being carless. I found it quite freeing. And in January as well, me and Holly started the year with brand new jobs. We both got brand new jobs in January, which at the time was a huge thing because I didn't know what I was going to be doing at the end of uni because I was going through uni at the time, and with COVID and everything going on, everything was very uncertain. I didn't know what I was going to be doing after uni. So to land this job in January before I finished uni was a huge thing and something I'm very, very grateful for in this year. It did, however, mean that uni suffered quite badly because I didn't manage to complete the course because of working full-time. That's nothing that I regret though, because making sure I found a full-time job with COVID around and not knowing what was going to happen and all of the uncertainty, it was still 100% the right decision. Going back to uni, even though I didn't manage to finish it, was still one of the best things I've ever done because it's helped me realise what I wanted to be doing. Making these videos, making YouTube videos, working with other clients as well to make videos. If I didn't go back to uni, I'd have never realised this is what I wanted to be doing, and now I'm obsessed with it. I want to be living a creative life, and uni has helped me realise that. As cheesy as it sounds, I found my creative spark. So even though I didn't get my sheet of paper at the end, I still got so much out of it, and that is more than I could have ever asked for. And I should just say thank you very much to my family for making it possible for me to go back, because there were a lot of sacrifices made to make it possible. Not least moving back into my mum's house with Holly and our two cats, Ed and Noel. Getting new jobs, however, meant that me and Holly could move out and into our own house and our own space, and it felt so good. My mum very kindly put up with us living in her house for the previous 3 or 4 years while we were both at uni, and I think she was probably quite relieved to get rid of us after that amount of time. So for us all to be able to have our own space back so early on in the year, earlier than planned, was probably one of my highlights of 2021.
Driving your first van, how does it feel?
Eating Domino's pizza on the floor of our completely empty house the day we got our keys is another one of those memories that will live with me for a very long time. Sometimes it is the smallest, stupidest things that create the best memories. Moving into this house as well also meant I could have my own dedicated space for making these videos. I converted this old bedroom into a little studio, and it has to be said, it's one of my favourite places. It's my favourite little spot. I spend nearly all of my spare time in this room, and it meant I had somewhere that I could keep learning how to improve my filmmaking and my video editing. I've changed it around like nearly 3 times already as well. I like changing it up for different angles and things like that, and different lighting setups. I don't think I'll ever settle on one particular setup, but I genuinely love it in here. As I was doing all of that in this room, setting it all up and putting more time into learning how to make better videos, my YouTube channel started to grow. Now, YouTube has become a massive obsession of mine over the last few years. I genuinely love it. I love making videos so much, and I wish I started it years ago before I did. I think I've been making YouTube videos now for about 3 years, and probably only seriously for about a year. So I wish I started it a long time ago and I had that amount of a head start to get to where I am now, even though I am massively proud of where I've got to. And it shows that all of that hard work and time that I have put into it, it started to work. And it just shows that if you want something enough and you work for it enough, things will start to happen and you will start to achieve things that you didn't think were possible. Because 3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe, I wouldn't have ever been able to sit in front of a camera and talk to it. And now I'm borderline obsessed with it and I genuinely love it. I could have never spoken to a camera. I hated having my picture taken. I hated having the camera pointed at me. But now it's like my happy place. I'm at my happiest now when I'm making videos. Brighton. Our Brighton trip will be remembered for a very long time. Brighton has very quickly become one of my favourite places. It is literally one of the friendliest, quirkiest, most creative places I've ever been. I love it there so much. And me and Holly have both said that we want to move there in the future. There was one night where we were just walking along the beach and it must have been 10 o'clock at night. It was dark, but it was really warm. And there was a busker just on the seafront with him, his guitar, a loop pedal and a drum machine. And as he started playing, everyone walking past started to stop and just listen. And it was a complete mix of people. And it was just incredible because everyone was starting to sing and dance around and none of these people knew each other. But at that time, it was incredible. It was one of those moments that I think you have to be there for stuff like that. But when you are there and you experience something like that, it feels, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it feels magical. And that was one of those moments that I will remember for a very, very long time. As small as it was, again, it was just a busker playing guitar, but he just caught everyone and everyone was there in that moment. And it was just amazing. And that, again, is probably my favourite highlight of 2021. That is something that I will remember for a very long time. I really like Brighton. I want to live here. Our Wales trip was also very special. It was a present from my gran and granddad for Christmas 2 or 3 years ago, and it had been put off maybe 3 or 4 times because of COVID. It kept getting pushed back. So to finally be able to get away into the Welsh mountains of Snowdonia with the fresh mountain air and just take pictures for 3 or 4 days, that was amazing. I loved every single second of that trip. We've not even got to where we're going yet though. Look at this view. This is mad. This is the road we're on.
This is fun.
And Holly extended the trip as well for another night, and we got to stay in this little wooden lodge or glamping pod, whatever you want to call it, with a hot tub. It was freezing cold, but in the hot tub, it was so hot. I've never done that outside before, and that was amazing. That was amazing. Ow!
Oh, wouldn't have done that if I were you.
Genuinely cut myself. So 2021 has been pretty mixed. I'm sort of half sad to see it go in a weird way, because it was as well the year that we finally got to spend Christmas in our own place, in our own space for the very first time. So that again is another thing, another memory that will be remembered for a very long time. So there's been some amazing times this last year, but obviously mixed with COVID and everything that's going on in the world, there's been more difficult times, like there has for everyone as well. So there's been some times to forget as well, as there is in any year. I'm already looking forward to next year as well. I've got loads of things that I want to be doing with this YouTube channel. I want to be making some pretty big, challenging projects that right at this moment, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to do them, but that at the same time is very exciting because it's what makes me want to keep learning and making better videos. So that is very exciting. And there's also loads of stuff that me and Holly have got planned. We're going to be going on more trips, loads of live music, just things outside of YouTube and outside of work as well. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about 2022. There's lots of stuff going to be happening, and hopefully as well we'll have a little bit more freedom and no more lockdowns and stuff like that, because no one wants that. No one wants that. Like I mentioned before, as I said when I wish I started my YouTube channel years ago, I'm now glad that I do have it, and glad that I do it, because it helps me record more stuff, and then in a few years' time I'll have those memories to look back on. Because just this week, literally this week, my granddad has shown me a load of old film photography and lent me his old film camera, which I'm very excited to have a go with, because I love film photography. It has a completely different feel to it. And also, my dad dug out a load of old tapes, video camera tapes, from his old video camera, and for Christmas bought me a very old video camera to record with tapes and watch those tapes back. So that is amazing. So I can't wait to do some stuff with that as well. And starting this YouTube channel is almost the equivalent of their old video cameras and film cameras, because this will be what I look back on in a few years' time to remember those things. So I'm glad I've got this YouTube channel, and I cannot wait to just keep making more stuff for it. I'm excited for 2022. It's going to be good. Just one last thing before I go. Thank you to everyone that does actually watch and comment and interact with these videos, because I still find that mind-boggling that people actually watch them. So thank you to everyone that does and subscribes and likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. I didn't think I'd ever be doing it, so yeah, thank you very much again. Massively appreciated. But that's it for 2021. All that's left to say is 2021, thank you. I think just about. I'll see you in 2022.
Yes. So cold.
I did offer you a hot water bottle. Ew. Oh, no bed?